Why do some problems stay unsolved even when you're painfully aware of them? You know something is wrong. You feel the pressure building. You think about it constantly. And yet, nothing changes. This isn't laziness. And it isn't a lack of intelligence or motivation. For many people, being surrounded by problems doesn't lead to action. It leads to paralysis. Psychologically, overwhelm doesn't push the brain forward. It shuts it down. When your nerves are shot, survival takes over, not problem solving. And survival, in this context, often looks like freezing, avoiding, or distracting yourself just enough to get through the day. This is why people can feel extremely stressed and still not move. Stress doesn't always activate action. Sometimes it signals danger, and danger tells the system to stop. Many people who struggle with this pattern are actually very aware. They can name their problems clearly. They can see the consequences. They replay scenarios in their head. They imagine solutions. But awareness without safety doesn't turn into movement. It turns into rumination. When problems stack up, the brain stops seeing them as individual tasks. It sees them as one massive, undefined threat. And the moment something feels too big to contain, the nervous system looks for relief, not resolution. Relief might look like scrolling, sleeping, daydreaming, avoiding messages, putting off decisions, telling yourself you'll deal with it tomorrow. Not because you don't care, but because caring hurts when you don't know where to start. For many people, this pattern began early, in environments where mistakes had consequences that felt too heavy, where getting things wrong led to shame, conflict, or emotional withdrawal. Over time, the mind learned that acting carried risk. So hesitation became protection. Another layer is emotional overload. When you're already managing unspoken expectations, unresolved feelings, or chronic self-doubt, there's very little capacity left for problem solving. Every new issue feels like proof that you're failing, rather than something neutral to address. And once problems feel personal, it becomes even harder to face them. Avoidance often isn't about avoiding the problem itself. It's about avoiding the emotions attached to it: fear, disappointment, guilt, or the possibility of confirming your worst beliefs about yourself. This is why advice like just take the first step can feel impossible. The first step doesn't feel small, it feels loaded. It feels like it might open the door to everything you've been holding back. People stuck in this cycle often blame themselves. They call themselves procrastinators, weak, broken. But what's actually happening is a nervous system that never learned how to engage with difficulty safely. Problem solving requires more than logic. It requires emotional regulation, the ability to feel discomfort without shutting down. And that skill isn't innate, it's learned. When that learning didn't happen, the system defaults to delay. What's important to understand is that paralysis isn't a choice. It's a state. And states can change when safety increases. Safety doesn't mean the problem disappears. It means your body no longer treats engagement as a threat. This is why progress often begins with containment, not action. Making the problem smaller, narrowing the focus, separating identity from outcome, allowing imperfect movement instead of waiting for certainty. The goal isn't to suddenly fix everything. It's to teach your system that doing something doesn't equal disaster. Slow movement is still movement. Gentle engagement is still engagement. And when the nervous system learns that action doesn't automatically lead to harm, momentum slowly returns. Feeling stuck doesn't mean you can't do it. It means you've been carrying too much without enough safety. And that's something that can change, one contained step at a time.